Hello everyone, welcome back to Dragonfly Engineering. So it's time to give you guys an update on the garage project, which has been going on for about half a year now. I think I showed an initial preview showing the Volkswagen thing, as well as the beginnings of the repair to the garage and expansion. So you can see we've done a little bit of activity, and I'll give you guys a quick rundown of where we're at, and then I've got a whole bunch of clips, and I'll probably do like a rapid fire release of a bunch of smaller clips of the progress over the last half a year on the garage build and expansion, or I guess the code violation issue and the expansion of the garage. So I hope you enjoy, and let's take a quick look around at where we are today, and then I'll get into the first of a rapid fire series to bring us up to date. All right, so as you can see, there's a wall missing in the garage and the beginnings of a new foundation. So this garage was, originally there was a code violation. One of the neighbors called in and complained. And so the city wasn't a big fan of this little stubby wall that was here, and the electrical panel that was worked on without a permit. Anyway, so I had to get permits, and I'm under a code violation mediation plan, so I have to have progress every 3 months and get a passable inspection on this project. So one of the things to do was to get rid of the sagging wall on this side of the garage, and I think you can probably see some remnants of kind of the disaster of the last 100 years of construction has resulted in this garage, where the bottom was basically sagged out by like over 2 inches relative to the top. This orange painted edge is the vertical edge, and you can see how it's a little bit off on being square to earth. Anyway, so I tore out this whole wall, and then also the foundation, which was woefully under spec'd and all busted up and drifting around as well. And then out here, there used to be a door which is removed, and then this is our new expanded foundation, which again, I'll have a few smaller episodes that they'll bring us up to speed on where we're at with the expansion of the garage, as well as a sewer connection, which you can see there. So anyway, I think for this first episode, I'll talk about the site prep. There was a palm tree that existed basically right here, which was the worst possible location for a palm tree, because palm roots are almost impossible to remove because it creates a composite with the dirt, and you can't just shovel them out. So there's a lot of pickaxing and burning of palm roots and everything. But I did just pass the foundation inspection, so we are ready to pour concrete. And so yeah, I'll bring you up to speed on where we're at with our garage, as well as some of the details of construction in California. Also in the front yard, we had to run the sewer and water from basically the front corner of the property, like way up there, around the edge of the house, where I had to dig up or cut through the concrete driveway, and then out to the garage there. And so that was a bit of work as well, with excavators and running sewer pipe and getting inspections for that. We also had to cut down like a 40-foot tall palm tree, basically about where that little bush is. So I got some footage of that too. Okay, so this is time 0 of the project, where we basically have to clear out this big palm tree to the left, and then you can see the other palm tree in the front yard over the top of the house there, the even taller one. So here I'm setting up the ladder and tying the pole rope to as close to the top of this palm tree as I can, and that's an airplane flying over. Then once that rope's set up, I will start to notch out the tree to pull it over. And here I'm waiting for an airplane to fly over to mask the sound of a crashing tree, and this would help calm the neighbors as I pull this tree over. Oh, and I did survive this, by the way, since I'm recording this video now, and you'll see me emerge from the back. I did make sure I was clear of the fall. See? Ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Hello. Ready? Cutting this tree down. Here's my old safety strap. But they'll get that. Got the squirrel left the persimmon for us. Okay, let's keep on cutting. There we go. chainsaw. I can't really film that. Well, I've decided to call it. I was up there sawing off sections. I got the top two sections, like the green active like growing part of the top of the tree. But then when I was getting into the trunk, the palm dust, which is like a wet, messy funk, started to jam up the saw. So I was popping blades out of the saw, and also this trunk is about 18 inches in diameter, and my saw is 16 inch, or my chainsaw. So I was having trouble actually cutting all the way through, and to get to the other side I'd have to re-articulate this entire machine, which is basically a trailer with a bucket lift on it. I'd have to drag this trailer like, I don't know, 6 feet forward, set it all up again so I could get around this electrical cord which goes to the house, just to cut the last 20% with my 16-inch chainsaw. And then, you know, each section, imagine like one diameter height, or like basically a cannonball of palm tree up there, falling 35 feet up all the way down to the ground. There's a good chance I would ricochet some through my front window. And this thing is too rickety for me to all of a sudden have a chunk of palm land in the bucket next to me. So with all those issues, I decided to play the safe card and hire a tree service to come and basically remove this big middle finger in my front yard. But yeah, I was able to cut the whole 50-foot top out, and there's some remnants. The neighbors were nice to offer up their bins for palm frond debris. So looking at this bucket lift, so the controls are that guy right there, and then there's a side control over here, and I rented this from a company who's not an expert in these bucket lifts. But the issue I was having, this symbol down here shows the outrigger feet, which are these guys. And this machine wants to be absolutely level before it will let you work for more than like 10 minutes. So what was happening is I was lowering these feet down over there on the uneven sidewalk, which was the first location that we were working, because there was actually a car parked right here in front of where the tree was going to be dropped. That was another complication today, is I didn't want to drop palm fronds on some guy's car. Anyway, so you flip on the switch, you flip this selector switch to basically this control panel, and then you can hold this dead man switch and then lower the feet down. Let's do that a little bit, like so. And they come all the way down to the ground. And then these lights, which aren't lit up, but lights will start to appear as it senses that the foot has touched the ground. But they're flashing, and what you have to do is maneuver this entire structure until you can lift up the body off of the tires. But the body has to be perfectly level, and there's 4 flashing green lights that are not lit right now because I'm not going to drop it all the way down. It's kind of end of day. And they're flashing if the machine is not level, and the people who set it up left it with these lights flashing. So the boom lift would only let me operate for like 5 minutes, which is intended to 5 to 10 minutes, with the intention that you adjust the boom lift and check the stability. But then after 10 minutes, if these leveler feet are not happy and they're flashing green, then the whole thing starts an alarm sound which continues. And I was worried that I would actually be stuck way up there on that bucket if I pushed it too much with multiple alarms, because it may be like a password thing where after 5 times it'll just lock out and I'll be stranded 40 feet up in the air. So anyway, but we moved it. I found the guy who had the car. We moved the car, and then we pushed this contraption to basically straddle the street, which has a drain slope to it, and then the other 2 feet were on the sidewalk, and that gave us the ability to make this thing flat enough to use it to cut all the fronds out of the top. But then my chainsaw just couldn't cut through that 18 to 20 inch trunk of pulpy, sandy mess of palm tree. So it just kept giving up, and it would have been like all day to cut little 6-inch wafers out of this, which I could then safely drop to the ground without cannonballing into my front window. The thing about palm trees is they pull sand and dirt up from the ground all the way up through the trunk. So they wear out your blade on your chainsaw very quickly. And I was running into that problem where it was burning through all of the bar oil, and the palm pulp was getting all up in the mechanism. So I was constantly cleaning out kind of hot palm pulp out of the chainsaw. And then it was just a losing battle. So tree service will come. Maybe they'll just, if they're good enough, they'll just cut it here and let the tree fall between the power line for the house and the cable line for the house. So this is the work envelope I had to deal with this entire freaking lifting bucket, or telelift. I'm not sure what these are called actually. All right, I'm starting the sewer line excavation. So that is the clean out for the sewer pipe that goes under the house right there. And the sewer connection is under the sidewalk. So I'm exploring hand digging because there's probably a gas line like right here. So I don't want to be getting an excavator bucket in here and snapping off a gas line. I doubt it's going to be over top of the sewer, so I'm thinking the gas line is here, so we may be able to avoid it altogether. But starting from here, we're going to TN right around where that hole is for the second sewer line to the garage, and it's going to come along here past the big palm tree that we cut down, and then out over, take this corner and then go off towards the garage that way. And you can see I've already started making some cuts here. So this line here is going to be the sewer, that cut in the pavement, and then this line is going to be the fresh water underground galvanized pipe. And I've cut these two relatively parallel. I made the cut such that the excavator bucket will fit between the two cuts in the driveway, because this is solid concrete. And it's going off to the corner of the back corner of the garage. So now I'm going to finish the second cut for the sewer pipe. And I'm thinking we'll do a 16-inch wide cut since the bucket is 12 inches wide. And it will go off to basically the center of the garage. You can see the first cut has been already made. There's a little bit left of that palm tree. Okay, let's get at it. Come on in. This is our diamond cutting blade. And it's basically just set up, hooked up to this, whatever, 18 horsepower gas engine. So we'll turn it on. I'll set the distance. I think I might just use the edge of the body as my guide for the first cut. This handle, with the blade out of the cut. I believe I gotta turn it on.